And we talked to officers about their efforts to keep people safe and drugs off the streets.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We're at 6:30 this Thursday morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Mace Michaels for a look at your forecast.
Good morning, Madison. Looking at quiet conditions over most of the area. A little muggy for later today. The showers and storms, well, they'll be sparse for us today. We'll have a lot of this, a lot of sunshine, as you see in our Buffalo Mountain camera. Although you look back way off in the distance, you can see some of those little cloudy patches, those little foggy areas, and that's the type of conditions we'll run into at least this morning, as we so commonly see here in the early part of the day. Hazard, same thing. You can notice some of those foggy, cloudy, low cloud areas off in the background. But the sun coming up above it, that'll burn it away quickly, and it's already starting to do so. Upper 50s here in Hazard, and the visibility, most areas look okay. We've seen Somerset and Williamsburg, Monticello for some of the low pockets of visibility this morning. They're even looking good. If you're in those areas, you know what I'm talking about. Your visibility is pretty good. So it's not going to be much of a concern, maybe the next half hour or so. Nice temps, though, from 59 in Prestonsburg, even in the low 50s to mid-50s around Clintwood. It's warm as 67 in Monticello, and you head up to Louisville. It's as warm as 71 already. That's closer to some showers and storms. We won't see this wave of storms today. That's the storm activity that'll move at us tomorrow. And another wave will move in for Saturday. But today we are in the sunshine, dry and quiet conditions. Your planner from the 60s at this hour and 50s into the 80s for later on this afternoon. Full forecast, Madison, will time out when the higher rain chances move in.
All right, Mace, thank you. Mount Vernon city leaders learned their resolution regarding medical cannabis sales may not make it on the November ballot after all. While the county fiscal court voted to prohibit these types of businesses, city council members opted to let voters in town decide for themselves. But a potential violation of the state's Open Meetings Act may make Monday's vote void. Grayson Passmore explains.
One of the complaints that we get around both the town and the county is that the decision making is very centralized between a select few.
Mount Vernon City Council member Michael Van Winkle called for a special called meeting Monday, where council unanimously voted to put the issue of medical cannabis businesses on the November ballot. Tuesday was the filing deadline to put it on the ballot. Tuesday was also the day we anticipated our fiscal court voting to prohibit such businesses in the county. Because the county voted no, Mount Vernon would not be opted into the statewide program. But then another special called meeting was held Wednesday, where Van Winkle learned the Mount Vernon Signal newspaper complained that they must be made aware of special called meetings in writing, or else they say it violates the Open Meetings Act. Van Winkle phoned them Friday morning. But the question now is whether the vote on Monday will stand. And if it's ruled that it doesn't, that means the city missed the deadline to put the issue on the November ballot. If the Attorney General decides that action was voidable and that our resolution does not pass, then we could obviously do the same thing next year, wait a year to put it on the ballot. Or the council could pass an ordinance that would allow those businesses to operate. Van Winkle says they'll just have to wait on a ruling, leaving uncertainty for now. People were glad that it was on the ballot. In Mount Vernon, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
The city has a regularly scheduled meeting tonight. Members say they hope to have more answers by then. A grand jury returned superseding indictments in the Amber Spradlin murder case in Floyd County. M.K. McKinney, Dr. Michael McKinney, and Josh Mullins face an additional charge of tampering with physical evidence. The three are accused of planting a knife in the couch where Spradlin was murdered last year. Officials say the knife was not used in the murder, but placed in the couch to suggest it was the weapon used. A Floyd County man is sentenced in federal court on child pornography charges. 26-year-old Christopher Hall of Herald produced a video of himself sexually abusing a minor in 2022. He later distributed the video to others using WhatsApp. Hall must serve 85% of his 50-year sentence. After he's released, he'll be on probation for 10 years. In Knox County, a Corbin man is behind bars after being accused of stealing a vehicle. It happened last week when sheriff's deputies received a call about a stolen vehicle spotted at the Crossroads Market in the Gray community. After confronting 37-year-old David Boggs, he left the scene on foot. Police found male suspects as stolen in the vehicle. Boggs was taken into custody after trying to evade the police. A Knott County man was sentenced in federal court for trafficking methamphetamine. 37-year-old Lee Rose of Vest sold meth in Knott County from at least September 2023 to January of this year. He must serve 85% of his 18-year sentence and then will be on probation for 5 years. A Pike County man is facing charges after KSP troopers found drugs in his home. State police searched Kevin Hopkins' home and property in Shelbyana Monday night. During the search, police found approximately 3 grams of meth. While searching his basement, they also say they found syringes and pipes used for meth. Police later discovered Hopkins was a convicted felon. He was taken to the Pike County Detention Center. A London man is facing charges after police found a large quantity of suspected meth. London police officers were trying to serve an active warrant on 44-year-old Robert Laws Tuesday. After arriving at a home on 301 Morgan Street, police found approximately 1 pound of meth along with multiple bags of marijuana and other paraphernalia. Laws was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A Letcher County man is facing multiple charges after a drug bust in Whitesburg. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us what police say they encountered before they arrested him.
Active arrest warrants and multiple calls led police to the scene.
We got some reports that there were some wanted fugitives on Orchard Road.
Police began investigating. The citation says they then heard people talking in a barn and found drugs along with them.
Found some what we believe to be methamphetamine in an open view.
Stein says they took approximately a half pound of meth and 11 grams of fentanyl in a suspected drug deal. Robert Brown of Whitesburg, who was one of the fugitives with the warrant, was arrested and charged as a result. He is lodged at the Harlan County Detention Center. Brown is charged with trafficking fentanyl and meth, possession of a handgun, and possessing drug paraphernalia. More charges could be coming.
There was multiple pills. We didn't charge anything with that yet because we want to see what it comes back from the lab.
Stein says they have had at least 100 fentanyl cases in nearly 6 years.
It's sad that our citizens are wanting to kill each other, you know, and suffer from drug addiction, and it's just really a sad situation.
The sheriff says another person at the scene who ran away could be arrested as well. In Letcher County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Sheriff Mickey Steins also says they have removed approximately 11 pounds of meth from the streets since he took office nearly 6 years ago.
Quiet conditions over most of the area this morning. Beautiful view here in the London, Corbin area. 61 right now at the airport, and notice a mostly clear sky. Perfect looking weather conditions just about everywhere. Hazard, we have a few clouds. You see them off in the distance, out in the mountains and the hills. Yep, they're kind of little pillows of clouds here and there. Nothing that's really bringing locally dense fog, but there were some pockets that were very low on the visibility earlier on. Now with the sun coming up, yep, it's burning it away rather quick, so the visibility isn't a problem. You wake up to some nice temperatures, though, this morning. Upper 50s, low 60s. It's nice when you get your day going here and step outside with high pressure keeping our weather quiet and mostly sunny. This is tomorrow's weather. Storms headed at us. Not a problem at the bus stop today, though. Mostly sunny in most areas in the upper 50s. Later today, Madison, upper 80s, maybe a stray storm. Better chances for storms tomorrow and Saturday. I'll have more on that coming up.
All right, Mace, thank you. And thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:39. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Both presidential campaigns are taking this week to talk economy and visit North Carolina. See what this means for voters.